So my name is Logan Rogers. I'm a drug addict. My sober date is 12/21/21. How I got here. So I started out young. My childhood it wasn't horrible. You know, like my mom and dad.
And action.
Okay, so my mom and dad, they was there. Like my mom, she was a very caring mom. My dad, he was, in my eyes, he was an alcoholic until like I was about 8 years old. But you know, he worked constantly all the time. He always provided for us. I just felt always left out. Like there was something always fucking missing with me. So I go through this phase, like I start playing football and I start getting that attention from Dad that I craved a lot, you know, and I felt like that was the only time I got attention from him. And so I continued to play football. I got better. You know, the more I done it on the football field, I felt like the more he showed up for me. Mom was always there in the stands. Like I said, my childhood wasn't bad. I just always felt left out or not a part of. Football was the first way I felt a part of something. But then eventually that wasn't enough. So I think I discovered pot when I was like 8 or 9. For the first time, I just tried it because I would steal it off my dad. And but I didn't really get into it until I think I hit middle school, 8th grade year. I'd smoke, I would steal it from him and hang out with my friends, smoke cigarettes, just like, because it was the coolest thing to do at the time. You know, that's another way I felt like I was a part of something.
Acceptance.
Yeah, it was like the biggest thing that I was craving, I guess, growing up. And so I would do that for a little while, and it started not to be enough. Like I tried skateboarding, it wasn't enough. Kept playing football for a few more years, and then eventually, like I started wanting to get in trouble, not wanting to, but like that's where my life was heading. And at the time, I was okay with it. Like I was okay being the fuck up.
When you say like it wasn't enough for you, like how could you tell at a certain point when like, oh, this isn't what I want anymore?
Okay, so at the beginning, I was getting the satisfaction of all the praises from my dad and stuff, but like I would keep playing, and like I just wasn't getting the same praises that I felt like I needed or deserved. So like I would look to other things. In 2007, I think my mom, she had a brain aneurysm, right? And I was playing football for DB, and she goes to the hospital. Well, my dad sends us to school, tells us not to worry about nothing. I go to school and I tell my teachers, I was like, look, my mom had a brain aneurysm, I don't know what that is. And they was like, why are you even here? You need to be with her. Because at the point, I didn't know how serious it was. And like that right there was like, almost like, looking back on it, it's like probably my first resentment I had towards my dad. Like, why are you not letting me be here with my mom? You want me to be out of your way so you can handle it. And looking, me being who I am now, like I understand that. It's hard to deal with kids when the person you're with is going through something like that. You know, I get that now. But when she went to the hospital, like, I'm a selfish person. Why is the attention not on me? I'm playing football. Like, I don't get it. Y'all should be praising me and doing stuff for me.
Logan
Rogers, we sorry, man. We didn't do that shit.
No, y'all good? Like, if I was playing football, the attention should be on me. I'm doing good. I mean, I wasn't doing the best in school. Like, I'm pretty sure I just got to skate by in school just because I was good at football. And so, like, when my mom went to the hospital, the attention wasn't on me. So, second resentment early on. I felt like, because at that point, like, Dad quit coming to my football games because he had to take care of my mom. She was in the hospital for 30 days. And not only did I, like, feel abandoned by him, like, through no fault of my mom's, like, I felt abandoned by her, but like, she was going through the brain aneurysm. So, like, just all around being selfish. Like, I just want everything to be about me.
It sounds like the acceptance part, when people agreed with who you were, or whoever you had your idea of who you were at that time, gave you like a sense of security, is what
Yeah.
it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I mean, it did, really.
So when the focus was elsewhere, something was wrong.
Yeah. And I have an older brother and a younger sister, so I'm the middle child. Right there off the rip, I'm going to feel left out no matter what. He was firstborn, she's the baby. I'm just here. So I quit football after my freshman year and moved to Sullivan North High School. And I get there, the coach was like, "You gonna play football?" I was like, "No, dude, I'm straight." Because at that time, I was started smoking pot regularly. I was selling pot regularly. I'd even started getting into my papa's lure tabs. I would steal from him. And not even thinking I'm doing anything bad. I'm just a kid. I'm supposed to mess up throughout my life, But at the time, I didn't know how bad I was actually messing up. So all the way from my sophomore to my senior year, it was just drinking every weekend because that's how I felt part of something once again. I was selling drugs, drinking, and hanging out with these people that I assumed was my friends, and they wanted what's best for me, but in all reality, they didn't. They just, I guess I was a good time when I was messed up. And I understand that. After high school, I graduated Sullivan North in 2010. And I instantly get into this dubstep scene. So the kind of drugs I was doing, like pot and pain pills, they just wasn't for that scene. So I would start doing Molly and stuff like that just to stay with the crowd, to feel a part of something once again. And I mean that was fun. I still to this day, one of my best experiences was Bonnaroo 2017. Yes, I was messed completely up, but I was there with 5 of my best friends that I grew up with watching Red Hot Chili Peppers sing live, and man, it brought a tear to my eye. It was an amazing experience.
It sounds like it.
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I feel that.
Get out of high school, starting to do Molly, bath salts come in a little bit. Never really liked the bath salts, but I did them, just because that's what it was there and people was doing that. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it too because I'm cool. Yeah, and so I get an apartment down in what's it called? Down in Allendale, and I'm staying there with my brother and this girl I'm with and 2 other dudes that were just all hanging around partying 24/7. And I guess that's when the first time I ever felt addicted to anything. But even at the time, I wasn't a drug addict. I was just partying. I'm having a good time. I was 18 then. Done that for about, I don't know, 2 years. And then I got to the point where I wasn't having fun really then. So I decided to get a job. Started at Home Shopping Network when I was 20, and I was with this other girl when I started there. Well, me and her was having these problems, and I dumped her on November 1st, 2012, and in November 2nd, I was done talking to this other chick that at work. And by November 16th, she was pregnant with my oldest daughter, Layla.
Wow.
Yeah. And man, I don't know what happened. As soon as I found out she was pregnant with her, I quit smoking pot. I quit drinking. I quit doing everything. And life was good for a couple of years. I wouldn't even call it sobriety because I didn't feel like I was addicted to anything. Especially since I just was able to put it down. Well, from 2013 to about 2016, I'd strung a couple jobs along. I worked for Home Shopping Network. I was a door-to-door salesman for DirecTV down in Columbia, South Carolina. Worst fucking job I've ever had. I got cussed out on the daily.
It sounds terrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
but
sounds
like
terrible.
I don't know, like from working a 12-hour shift job at a factory to being on the road away from my family and just doing whatever I want. Like I loved it, you know. And I didn't love being away from my kids at the time, but like I felt I got that sense of freedom again that I hadn't had in a couple of years. Come back because it didn't work. I lost my ass on and off. Lost everything. Come back, ruined my credit to feed my kids and my ex for a couple months until I got on at Brock inside Eastman on the roofing crew. And that job was started doing good. Like I was working like 60 hours a week, overtime, got a new Jeep. I had my truck, so I had 2 cars, a four bedroom apartment. My ex gets pregnant again. Sweet. I wouldn't say more excited for this pregnancy, but like I felt comfortable enough to bring another child in compared to my first one, Layla. So everything's going good with the pregnancy, and I get switched to the night shift carpentry crew for Brock, and I'm working 5 in the afternoon to 3:30 in the morning. The hour kind of sucked, but you know I was still making decent money, and so I made up this whole lie. Like, okay, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna need you to call work and tell them I need to leave, because at this time, like, I'm getting a little stressed out, and I want to go smoke some pot. Like, I'm gonna leave work and go smoke. So I'm like, Mom, you need to call them, tell them something's wrong going on with my old lady, so I can leave work. And she does that because me and my mom's like, we're best friends. Like, I love her so much. I'm a mama's boy. So she does this, right? I go leave and I go to a buddy's house, and I'm hanging out there, and it's about, I don't know, 12 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there, and I get a phone call from my mom saying, you need to call Bobby right now. I call Bobby. She's on her way to the hospital having pregnancy complications. So I don't know how that worked, but like I'm sitting at my buddy's house just like completely in shock, because that's what I told my mom to call and tell them that I needed to leave for, and now I'm out of work. And then a couple hours later I get a call saying there's problems. But she was bleeding. She gets to the hospital, I fly there, and ran a couple red lights, about wrecked on the way there, but I got there pretty quick. That night, my second daughter, Avery Nicole, was born. She was born 16 weeks premature, and she had to be flown to Johnson City Medical Center.
And
she was flown to Johnson City Medical Center, and she stayed there for 32 days. She was born March the 5th. Everything's going good, right? Like everything. Like, I mean, we're staying at the Ronald McDonald house. I'm still going to work every day inside the Eastman. But like, we're there as close as we can be without staying in that room 24/7. And then we go to me and my ex, we go to the room one day, and the doctors pull us aside, and they was like, so listen, you got a couple options right now. You can either give her some steroids that'll give her a 30% chance of living, or you can not do the steroids and give her a 10% chance. Well, me and my ex wasn't married, so that decision fell on her. She thought about it overnight, and she was like, Logan, I can't decide. So she needed me to. Me being the manly man I am, like, okay, I'll decide. And you know, like, I chose to do the steroids. Like, 30% chance sounds a lot better than 10. So they do the steroids. They do them for about 3 weeks. And we're at the hospital one night. I just got done working a 12-hour shift. I get home, get up there, and she's doing okay, but she's not doing great. We leave. They say to go on home, get some rest, and come back in the morning. We leave at 11:16 that night. and we stopped by and get some food on the way home back to Bristol because I lived in Bristol at the time. And we get a call at 12:24. I'll never forget. They was like, "You need to get back here now." Piss pouring rain. I'm doing 90 down Volunteer Parkway. Didn't care if any cops seen me. Like, you can follow me. I'm not stopping. We get there, run upstairs, start like, I don't know if you've ever been to the NICU in Johnson City Medical Center, but so you go through this door and it's like a little hand washing station. You got to wash your arms all up to your elbows before you can go into the NICU. We get in there and we start washing our hands, and the doctor opens the door and sees us, and he was like, "You don't need to do that. You just need to come in here." And we, like I said, instantly panic starts setting in. He's like, "She passed away." Hit my knees. My whole world crumbled right then. So we go in there, and they let us sit with her for a little bit. And the only way that, like, I held her for about 2.5 hours. The only way I knew to put her down was the smell. And I don't know, like, everything, like, at that point, my life shattered. We go home, and my ex, she's a mess, I'm a mess. She goes back to the bedroom, and she just goes to bed. Tries to sleep it off, I guess, I don't know. Not me. I can't sleep. I couldn't eat. For 2 days, I stayed awake. And before her funeral, which was 6 days after she passed, I was like, well, I'm not going to bed anyways. I'm gonna call somebody and see what they can do for me. So I called my brother, and he was like, well, I can get you some meth if that's what you're wanting. Bring me some right now. Instantly start doing meth. And you know, the problem with meth is, like, to me, it's a mind-altering drug. Like, it alters everything in your mind.
Absolutely. Reality altering.
Yeah. So I'm doing meth, and I'm staying up for 4 or 5 days at a time. And, you know, I'm starting to see my daughter while I'm awake. Well, I didn't want to go to bed because I didn't want to dream about her. But now I'm awake, and all I see is her. So, like, started with a little bit of heroin, some pain pills, just to try to stay awake or go to sleep whenever I needed to. And, you know, like, I'd done that for a while. Like, after her funeral, like, my whole family went out to go get something to eat. And I didn't. Y'all go do you. It was also at the same time, like, my dad and my mom, they was split up. Of course, they've been divorced since I was like 8 years old, but they stayed together, you know, lived in the same house most of the time. They was split up, and my dad had met a new girl. And I don't even know what happened, but like 2 weeks before my daughter did pass away, like, me and my dad and my brother, we all got in an argument over this girl that my dad's talking to. And it somehow comes out that I'm a piece of shit father. So, me, I show up to his front door. I go up there and I'm begging him to come out and say it to my face or fight me or do something. Like, show me that I'm a piece of shit, you know? And, you know, it didn't work. But then, like, when 2 weeks later she passed away, like, I felt so abandoned. I felt hopeless. I was like, I don't need to be here, you know? So I'm doing meth and heroin. And I break up with my ex. We start having problems. I start looking for happiness elsewhere. I start messaging other females. I start lying, saying I'm going to work and going to get drugs and just hanging out with people and getting high. And, like, it's just not working. You know, so we break up and I move out. And I move into my papa's down to Kingsport from Bristol, you know, and I was like, no, this is the best move for me. Like, this is what I need to do. I need to get away from everything. But in all reality, like, I went somewhere else that I could freely do the things I was doing, you know. Like, I didn't have to answer to nobody. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. It was on me at that point. Even though, like, I still have an older daughter, like a daughter already here, you know. And so I'm living at my papa's, just continuing down the road that I was on. Started selling meth, started selling heroin, stuff like that, and just, I was sitting in my papa's side bedroom, right, and there was a shotgun there, and at the time, like, my best idea was like, I mean, that's what I need to do, you know. So I'm sitting there with this fucking gun in my mouth, and my buddy Cody, he was calling me like nonstop. Like, he didn't know anything was wrong because I don't talk about nothing. I'm a fucking man. Y'all are not gonna see me weak. So he finally just shows up, and like, before he walks in the door, like, I put the gun down. So looking back on it, that was a sign from God. And like, that ain't God. Like, it just happened. It's coincidences. But yeah, I kept doing that for a while. I would disappear. I would go down to my buddies in Knoxville and stay there. I would leave my phone in Kingsport with kids, you know, and like, just go do whatever I want to do, go to shows and stuff like that. And I didn't really care about nobody besides me. You know, it was all about me. And that's the way I liked it. So 2017, my ex, who I broke up with, like, she's pregnant again, with my daughter Nova, and everything goes fine. We try to work stuff out. She comes down there to my papa's, and we're staying down there, but we're fighting constantly. And you know, when I grew up, like, my mom and dad, they would fight, put hands on each other. I mean, quite constantly. And like, I always swore that I would never be that guy. Never. I ain't never gonna hit a woman. I don't care what they do. Well, doing drugs, we'd be down there fist fighting. Like, on Halloween, I was getting ready to take the kids out, and I was like, no, like, I don't really want to do this with you right now, but she liked to pick fights, and I like to keep them going. So that's never going to work out. So she cusses me out, slaps me in the face, and I punch her. Like, just out, like, it was like a reaction. Like, I don't know how it happened, but it happened. And like, once it happened, like, at the time, like, I was like, yeah, that's right. Like, don't fuck with me. You know, I felt like this big bad man that, like, and I don't even know why, because like, I seen what that done to my parents growing up, and I know how I felt as a child when I seen that happen. So why I would do that to my children and to myself, like, let alone her, like, she didn't deserve that. Like, whether she smacked me or not, I probably deserved that, you know, because like, I like to think I was a good dad, and, you know, in all reality, I wasn't. I was looking out for me. And that was in 2017, 18. 2019, me and a buddy of mine, we've been best friends, like almost my better part of my life. And we're selling drugs, you know, just living our best life. We go up to Bristol, and we get pulled over with a quarter pound of meth in the car. And like, right then I was like, oh shit, my life's over. But like, I get bonded out of jail, and I'm like, while I'm in jail, I'm like, I'm not doing that shit again. I'm like, I'm done. Get out of jail, not even 4 hours later, I'm high, trying to do the same shit. And, you know, Like I run around doing the same exact shit, selling drugs, getting high, and not caring about nobody. Just going to court dates when I had to, and putting it off. I ain't got a lawyer yet. I ain't got the money to get a lawyer. You know the whole spiel. But at this time, like I'm a full blown addict at now.
Obviously.
Yeah, I'm, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But I wouldn't accept that. I gotta quit this whenever I want. I just do it for the money because I sell them. Meet this other girl named Desiree. We're living together. We're getting high together. And life's not so bad at that point, well, at least in my opinion. Even though, like, the electricity was cut off at the house, the water was cut off at the house. I was powering the house with a generator that I jerry-rigged to run the generator to the breaker box. And you turn on the generator, it lit the whole house up. So I was doing all right. I was okay. I wasn't hardly seeing my kids much, but me, myself, I'm okay. And, I lived like that. Then I met one of my best friends now, Matt Crawford. I met him over at another buddy of ours where he was staying at the time. And we just hit it off, and we started hanging out every day. And eventually he comes to live with me, him and his girlfriend. And we're staying there and we're doing what we do. We was getting high constantly every day. But like it wasn't sustainable. Like we ended up having problems with our friendship where it caused us to split paths for a few years, or at least a couple. And I'm living there, but not really. I'm going and staying at my buddy's trap house so I could sell drugs for him to supply my habits and my ex's habits, and she gets pregnant. We don't. I want to tell her how I think she should be doing it. I want to tell her, you need to quit doing drugs, and you need to do better. But I'm sitting over here doing drugs and not doing better. I'm trying to be that hypocrite that I like to be, and I've got these delusions in my head that just like I feel like other people should do, but I don't have to live by them expectations or my expectations on everybody else, not my expectations on me. Because I feel like I'm a piece of shit anyways. I don't have no expectations on myself. So we're doing that. She gives birth to Aniston, and guess where I was at the time when she gave birth? I was out in the parking lot getting high. Wasn't even there for her birth, just because like I couldn't stop at that time. We're at the hospital for a couple they test the umbilical cord and take custody. So I've lost a second kid, and like that brought memories up of my other daughter dying, and I'm just like, fuck it all. I'm back in that spiral again to where I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be around. Like, everybody leave me the fuck alone. Everything's not all right. I got tired of buying gas to put in the generator to keep the power on. So me and her, we moved to my dad's.
Tired of getting gas to put in the generator.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. So we moved to my dad's. And my brother and his wife are already living there. And, he's an addict too. He don't want to accept it. So we're all just there getting high. My dad and my mom, they don't do no drugs. So we're just doing whatever we want. But I feel like the less piece of shit because like I'm like working on my dad's house because I'm like jacking the floor up to the porch and trying to get it leveled and do some stuff. And like I remember waking up this one morning, I had court. Or no, before, let me back up a little bit. So I had to go meet Denise Miller because I got sentenced to drug court for the charges I caught. And I go meet Denise Miller, and I walk in there and I'm sweating. I mean, I'm sweating profusely. I'm high. I'm out there. I walk in there, and you can ask her. Still to this day, I'm the only one that she says has the balls enough to show up there that high. Like, she knows people showed up there high, but I was there high, and she's going over this stuff with me and asking me questions about my past, like job history and stuff like that. I leave, and she's like, and that was on a Friday, and she's like, you got to be in court Tuesday morning at 8:30. I'm there. I'll be there. Tuesday morning rolls around. I wake up late. Give me some stuff in me, and I take off up there. And like in my head, I'm not going to jail today. This is my first time. Yeah, I'm not going to jail today. So I get high, and I get there, and I walk in, and they was like, well, you're late. I didn't get there till like 9:05. And they was like, okay, well, you just go wait in the courtroom. Nobody's in the courtroom. I didn't take that as a bad sign. And then probation officer came in there, and he was like, come with me. And he takes me to the bathroom and piss tests me, hot across the board, almost everything. And they was like, well, we're going to take you back in here. And then another officer came from the back and put me in handcuffs, took me to jail that day. So now I'm getting into this is the helpless I've ever felt, and one reason why I'm still sober today. Like, going through them withdrawals in Sullivan County, where they're just telling you, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, just drink water. Oh my God. Like, it was Christmas Day, they brought out, I can't remember what was on, I think it was ham and some pumpkin pie or something on it. And
That's what they do.
Yeah. I hadn't ate like the whole time I've been there, and I think I was there. I went to jail on the 21st. That's my sobriety date. So I go to jail on the 21st, and like on the 25th, like I still haven't ate nothing. Like I'm sick as all hell. I didn't even take a shower the first week I was there. I couldn't even get up to get my tray, but luckily, like, there was a couple people that I knew from the streets that was in there that was willing to help me. You know. They would bring me my trays. They would help me out. They would bring me my trays because if they brought me the tray, they knew I wasn't going to eat it. They like, no, just keep that, dog. You know? They was just doing it to help themselves out, and I understand that. But the withdrawals I went through, oh my God. I shit on myself. I puked everywhere. They ended up, I went and called my mom and dad for the first, I was able to waddle over.
Crawl.
Yeah, basically. Get over to the phone, made a call, and then hung up after they was like, you still ain't got no bond. And I was like, well, fuck. I hung up on her, fucking took 5 steps, smacked the ground. They had to come get me and take me to the nurse's office or whatever you want to call it, and they done that sternum rub. I don't know what. I just woke up and I was like, get off me. Just don't touch me. They end up moving down to K cell in the main jail. To the, I guess it's the medical cells, and let me and detox me for 2-3 more days there, and then I got moved to another cell. But even 14 days in, I still wasn't eating. I wasn't my back was hurting constantly. I couldn't sleep, and then me being a big Billy badass I thought I was on the street, I ended up getting a fight while I'm still withdrawing. I get my ass kicked. When you want to feel helpless, be in Sullivan County on the ground in the bathroom getting your chest kicked in. That's helpless right there if I've ever felt it. So I finally start feeling better, and I'm making all these promises to my mom on the phone, I'm done with all that. When I get out of here, I'm gonna be a new man. But in the back of my mind, I'm not gonna do that. So I had to write this letter to Denise why I wanted drug court. So I do that, and she comes and interviews me again while I'm in jail, And she starts going over the paperwork that I had previously done, and she was like, well, you told me this, and I was like, I don't, none of that's true. It's not true. Like, I don't know where I got the information, but like, it was on the paper that like I helped her fill out. And I was like, that's not right. So we redo all that paperwork, and she was like, well, I'll talk to Judge Goodwin and see what we can do. I go back to my cell, and a couple weeks go by, and they call me in. I got court, and so I go to court, and they was like, well, we're going to accept you in the drug court program. Give us a couple weeks. As soon as the bed gets open, you're in it. To Magnolia Ridge. And I'm thinking, hell yeah, I'm out of jail, dog. I'm out. So.
How long had you been there?
I think I was in jail for 3 months. And took the first way out. Like, that was it. And like, the day that Donnie came and picked me up from Mag, he came from Mag to pick me up from jail, I'm like, man, this ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna get here. I'm gonna get it, because like, I know in the back of my mind I can leave once I get to Mag. Like, they ain't gonna hold you there. They can't hold me there. Ain't no law. I get there and I'm gonna leave. A couple days, get some good food in me, get a couple good nights rest, and I'm out. But then I got there and I met some people. Johnny Rogers being the main one. And I start talking to him, and I can relate to a lot of things he's saying. But like, I'm still iffy on it, you know. Then I have a couple people come into H&I. Roger, you were one of them. Craig came in there. Pat, all of them. Like, y'all came in there, and like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, there's no way y'all are just doing this out of the kindness of your all's hearts, and there's no way y'all are happy with your lives after going through the same shit that you're telling me that I went through. Like, there's just no fucking way. And you know, so I'm sitting there one day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna actually assert myself in this. I'm like, so like the last 3 weeks. Maybe last 2 weeks I was there. Like, I actually tried. I started praying every day, a couple times a day. Like, I started reading literature, got me a sponsor while I was in there, and everything's good. And at the time, like, I was like, I get to go home after this. No, I didn't. I don't. Denise calls Josh, and he was like, bro, you don't get to go home after this. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you gotta go to a sober living house. I was like Oxford? He was like, no. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, she's wanting you to fill out an application for Recovery Resources and do an interview with him. I'm like, what the fuck is Recovery Resources? And he was like, well, it's like Oxford. It's just not like Oxford. It's a lot more structured. I'm like, well, I don't really need structure in my life, you know, because I know everything. Still. Even though just going through all the shit I've been through, like, I know everything. Like, I know what's right for me, and that's not right for me. So I do the interview with Craig and Tabitha, and, you know, they seem cool. Craig kind of seems like a dick. Tabitha, she's always genuine and caring. But I'll do the interview and get out of Mag on March 17th. Craig picks me up. He's kind of cool to talk to at the time, you know, but like, I'm like, this motherfucker's on Subutex, so I'm like, there's just no way. Like, he's not helping a bunch of addicts because he wants to. Like, he's getting something out of this. And I go to Lawson House, Recovery Resources. The house had just opened. I think I was like the 7th person there. I was on one in D-Pod. And that's like a room with 6 beds in there. You know, I'm the only one in there. And I get there, and like,
Looking back, that was a good time to be in there.
yeah, it was. There was nobody in there. It was pretty cool compared to now, because, you know, I'm still in D-Pod because I don't learn lessons the easy way. I make them hard for myself that way. I guess that way they stick good. But
It's a good justification.
Yeah. You see it. That's right. So I'm living there, and, you know, like,
What's been your favorite thing just about your life today?
There's so many. Like, the So the best part, like besides the building of my relationships back up with my kids, which is amazing, having family members talk to me again because I'm not the fucking black sheep. Like, I'm not strung out. Building old friendships back up with Matt, or making new friends with Justin or any other guy in the house. You know, like, all that's fucking awesome. But the best part was, for me, and it happened not too long ago. So I'm working the good job. I get myself a car. I'm trying to get custody back of my youngest daughter. Like, everything's going the way I think it should go, the way I deserve for it to go. Because, you know, I've done all this. I'm sober. Like, I'm doing everything. But then within 1 week, I get laid off. The day I get laid off, I'm on my way to probation, a drug test. Car breaks down. And later that same day, I find out that they're going to terminate my rights, or I'm going to have to willingly surrender my rights to my youngest daughter, Aniston. And like, that hit me like a ton of bricks. And again, I instantly started feeling like I'm losing everything again. Like, and I'm not going to do that. But the difference was between then and now, I felt it for a couple of days. I dealt with it the proper way, and I moved on. And I prayed about it. Praying about it, it works. Like, I don't know how it works, but it works. From all that despair and stuff that I thought I was past, I get a new car from a good friend. I get a better job. I willingly terminate my rights because they was going to terminate them whether or not. But I talked to Tabitha, and you know, that was the best option, because in my eyes, I'm still in a sober living house. I don't have my other daughters full time. I can't give her the attention she needs, and I'm going to give her the best life that I think she deserves. And unfortunately, it wasn't with me right now. Making decisions like that, man, like, I would run from them. Now I can make decisions
And stand on them.
And like, you know, be okay with who I am still, because I feel like I made the right decision for me and for her. I'm like, you know how hard it is to take your feelings out of a decision you got to make for your child?
It's difficult.
Whether you're going to be there for them as their father or not, like, that's hard to do. But like, through the people I know and talk to, like, I felt okay with signing my rights over to give her the better life. You know, like, it ain't about me no more. I've had my fun, I've had my time. It's not about me. It's about my kids and what I leave for them. You know, so would you ask a question?
Your favorite thing about your life today? It sounded like how you react to it.
Yeah, like, man, I've got almost 2 years sober now, and like, life is fucking great. Like, I literally, like, there's never a dull moment in my life. I can genuinely be happy with the people I care about and love, and know they care about me genuinely. They just want to be around me for me. And like, that right there,
It's amazing.
that's fucking amazing. I'm about to cry about it. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's like you're really alive, you know?
I'm
I
living.
thought you're really experiencing something like it.
Yeah, you know, like, I know my life ain't gonna be perfect from here on out. I mean, I get that. But it sure fucking feels like it. You know what I mean?
Hope, serenity, I don't come.
Yeah, it's all there.
Thank you.
Thank you.